Where did the name Rainstorm Joy come from? God is such a funny man. Hi, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Ashlyn and I'm the owner of Rainstorm Joy, where I make what I sell. I make all kinds of stuff, mainly sewing right now, but we'll see what else this business has to offer. Today, we are going to be making some pin holders because I want to introduce those to the shop. But as I was standing here thinking what all to do in this video, I also decided just right now, I want to go ahead and answer those Q&A questions that I got. So this would be a work with me and a Q&A answer Magic Bob. Guys, I'm done with my queue. I no longer have videos like from months ago. Now we are all caught up, so if you're watching this, it should be August, because we are now in the month of August and my queue is gone, so we are all caught up. So this way we can be in sync with each other, because I have some things coming for the fall season and I will show you what I have in store already. Let me show you these fabrics. Actually, I just got some new fabrics and I will show you those. Let's do that. Almost every single time I talk to the camera, I don't know if it's because I'm being like I don't know if it's because I'm being like more energetic or whatever, but I just cannot breathe. I'm like, but I mean, I cut that part out while I'm trying to breathe, but I need a second to catch my breath. I wanted to show you this fabric that I got. Y'all already know I did not need any more new fabric, but I did get some, and my goal is to actually get rid of almost every piece of Hobby Lobby fabric that I have. That's my goal. And I want to do that because I can't remember if I talked about this in a prior vlog or not. At my markets, people are very familiar with Hobby Lobby fabrics, and like a lot of the customers or people that craft too, they're like, this is Hobby Lobby fabric, and I'm like, yes it is, but now I have fabric from other places and hopefully nobody really knows where I got those from. I just think it's more interesting that way. Nothing like, there's nothing wrong with some of Hobby Lobby's fabrics, but I do want to expand. Anyways, I'm looking to get rid of those. Like most of them, I'm keeping some of them because some of them are my best sellers for my Bible sleeves. So I am going to keep some of those fabrics, but I do want to experiment in other fabrics. And a new fabric store just opened up near me, so that's good. I haven't checked them out yet. Hopefully they have good fabric, but we'll see. So I showed all of this fabric already on my TikTok. Again, if you're not following my other socials, go ahead and do that. But I got this fabric. It's already cut up, so it's just a little bit. But I got this cute fabric with bows. Then this one also has bows. These ones may be able to be restocked. I'm not quite sure yet, but we'll see. They're not up for grabs yet anyway, so I don't even know how well they're gonna sell. But then I got some fall fabrics. These are really cute. I really didn't need to get any fabric at all, but I shouldn't have gotten any more seasonal fabric because it's seasonal. You just shouldn't spend too much money on seasonal because it's just for a season. But I did get some more, and then these other ones are from Hobby Lobby. But then I have some fabric over here that is secondhand fabric. That's going to be a separate video, but I'm going to go ahead and show you what I have going on over here. As you can see, I have some secondhand quilted blanket thingies. I want to use those to make some stuff. I got this one, and I got this one, and I've got this one. As I said, that's going to be for a separate video. We're going to turn the secondhand blanket things into like tote bags, book covers, and then there's going to be another new product coming to the shop, but we're going to save that for that video, or you can see my other socials to see if I post there first. So be looking forward to that. That's a separate video. I'm not worried about getting into that right now though, because I have so many other things going on, but we will get there eventually. I just wanted to make sure that when I film that video, I'm going to post it around the same time that I filmed it, so if you all are interested in this, that it can still be up for grabs for you to buy. Here are some of the other fabrics that I also bought, but they were over here hiding, and these are for Christmas. Again, I didn't need any more seasonal fabric, but here we are. This one is so cute, and this one are gonna go together, and we'll see what I make with that. And also guys, before we begin doing what we're actually doing today, I do have to ask you, are you interested in seeing me make any of this type of stuff? Because I do offer this in my store as well, not on my Etsy, but like at my markets and in my vendor spot in the mall. I do offer this stuff as well. I only do this seasonally. I don't offer it year round, but it is another thing that I like to make, so that's why I offer it, because I like to make it. So I already made this one, as you can see, and then I have some ones that I made last year that I still need to get rid of. I think I showed those in another vlog, so if you're interested, just go look at that. I mean, I can show you right now, but they're in another vlog as well. And then I have two that I have the stuff for to make. I have another one for fall, and then I have one for Christmas. The Christmas one I'm not really worried about right now, also because I get a lot of my material from Hobby Lobby and I'm waiting for it to go on sale, you know what I'm saying? But I have a scarecrow wreath that I really, really want to make. I think about it almost every day. I'm like, when am I gonna get oh my gosh. That was so fast trying to come out of my mouth. That was like so fast. I know I speak quickly, but that was so fast. I forgot what I was gonna say. So if you're interested in watching a video of me making something different like that, let me know, or I can just keep that to myself because I don't really sell them on my Etsy anyway. But it is a little small part. I was gonna say part and portion. What is going on? It is a little small part of what I do in my business. Actually, not that you asked, but I will tell you, we can just go ahead and start cutting or whatever, so you can watch me do that. But I gotta tell you something. I need to actually heat up my iron, so we're gonna do that. Look what I did to make it a little bit neater. I put some Velcro on it. But what I was gonna say is, actually, those wreaths, like I said, oh my gosh, that smacked me in the face. This video is so chaotic. Oh my goodness. The reason why I make wreaths is because I came across a video last year, probably, of somebody making wreaths, and I just really wanted to do that because it looked like fun. It has absolutely nothing to do with my business. Like, I mean, my business can be whatever I want. I can include whatever I want in my business, but it is very, very different than the other things that I offer. That's why I don't really put it on my Etsy, because it's like so different. But actually, the reason why it is so different than the stuff that I offer in Rainstorm Joy is because it was originally going to be a completely different business. It was called Water to Wine Creations. I thought for a second there that I wanted to start offering like event things. Like, I wanted to, originally it was going to be for weddings only. That's why I called it Water to Wine. But then I was like, oh, well, I want to do other events, so we're just going to add on creations, I guess, because I wanted to make wreath attachments. And this is one of the wreath attachments that I made. It was a whole thing. I still have it. I never finished the back though, but I made this. Isn't it so cute? Guys, I like to do way too much stuff. But anyways, so it was going to be a completely separate business, but then I thought, why? It doesn't need to be a whole nother business, especially because like I made a few things, but like that separately doesn't have its own money. Rainstorm Joy has its own money because I've worked towards that. I have my own bank account and stuff like that for Rainstorm Joy. I got that all taken care of. But if I were to start this new business, it would be coming out of our personal funds. And at the time, I guess I didn't want to keep spending that much money because making these wreaths are so expensive. I thought it could actually be a part of Rainstorm Joy right now. So that's what happened. It was going to be its own thing, but now it's just seasonally in Rainstorm Joy because it's kind of random to the other things that I offer. But if y'all watched my last video, the one that I'm about to edit, but by the time you're seeing this video, it will already be up. Y'all know the crisis that I went through this summer. Oh my goodness. I don't remember everything that I said in that video because I am about to edit it and I haven't edited it yet, and I can't remember what all I said because that was about 2 weeks ago now that I filmed it. Boy, y'all know I was just going through it for some reason this summer, trying to make sense of stuff, like what I should be doing with these gifts that God's given me. And I just want to say, guys, I feel a lot better. I feel a lot better than I did during the time of making that video. However, I still like to do a lot of different things, and I don't know which things should be something that I should keep for myself or should offer to others and stuff like that. But anyway, we're not talking about that anymore. I do feel better though. But I just wanted to give you a little backstory of that business that could have been, but now it's kind of a part of Rainstorm Joy, just seasonally. Anyway, if you want to see me make a wreath, let me know. But right now, we're just working on these pin holders. I already actually got them cut. I cut them yesterday, and this is all that I'm going to have right now, just to see how it goes, because this is a new item, so I don't even know if people are going to like it well enough to purchase it. But I do have a few different designs, and most of the designs are Hobby Lobby fabrics, but these are the fabrics that I am looking to keep, so it's okay. I guess this is going to be a chit-chatty vlog, so if you're not into that, then this is not the vlog for you. especially because I just said that this is going to be the Q&A video and we haven't even gotten there yet. I just keep talking. Okay, let's answer some questions. How did you find local places to sell / vendor spots? So if you all don't know, if you haven't seen any of my previous vlogs, I have a vendor spot in a mall where I sell my stuff. So I sell on Etsy, at Morgan's, and I have a vendor spot. And it's just depending on where you live. I know that that's not a very helpful answer, but it really just depends on where you live. Because how I have a spot in the mall is because the place that I have the spot in is a place specifically for vendors like me. Somebody opened up a business where I live, so their business is to host other businesses, essentially. The place sells stuff on their own, but they also have other businesses within their business. So it's like a big consignment shop essentially for other small businesses. You don't have to be handmade to be here. I just so happen to be handmade. And the way that I found them was they opened up their business and they have vendor applications open. Before I did end up at this place where I sell my stuff in the mall, I also did sell at a consignment store. And so if you have consignment stores around your town, wherever you live, you can ask them to be a vendor because everything that they have in their store is probably from another business. But the thing is, with the consignment stores, they're usually secondhand. So people that shop there might not be looking for handmade stuff or for like retail stuff. They're looking for secondhand antiques or something they can get a little bit cheaper. So that place, although the price in the spot was bigger and it was nice, it was not good for what I sell because that's not what people were shopping for. I did sell some things, but that was like years ago before I really got into what I'm doing right now. So I don't even know how it would work right now anyway. Did I get an LLC? And if you look at my business, it is called Rainstorm Joy LLC because in where I live, you have to include it in your business name. Like if you put it out there, not like if I do like handles and stuff, I don't think I have to, but anyways, you have to have LLC in your name if you're an LLC where I live. But yes, I do have an LLC. Where did the name Rainstorm Joy come from? Well, I started my business in 2021, and at the beginning of 2021 my husband and I were actually expecting our first baby, but then we had a miscarriage. And a little bit later after that, we were expecting our second baby, which is our little girl that we have with us today, Ahana. And she was our rainbow baby. As you know, that's what they're called after a miscarriage, is a rainbow baby. And during that time, I was honestly just done working 9-to-5s. I knew that a 9-to-5 life was not for me. I was good at doing the jobs that I did when I did have a 9-to-5 and whatever, but I just never really enjoyed it, and I know a lot of people don't. And I'm not just saying I didn't enjoy it just because like I don't want to work. I just knew that that was not something for me personally. So in 2021, as you know, we were in the pandemic era of life where everything was like shut down and it was just a crazy time. And in 2021 was kind of the middle of it because everything started shutting down in 2020. I was like, I want to try to figure out how to bring some more income because at the time my husband was the only one working and I didn't want to go back to a 9-to-5, and I was pregnant with my daughter and he was okay with me not working, I guess. I mean, that's what happened. That's what is happening right now. I mean, I have my small business, but he still works doing what he was doing, and now I have a small business. But so at the time I was just honestly looking for like side hustles and stuff, just side gigs. I did like Postmates and whatever, but I really didn't enjoy that at all because like I didn't like going to strangers' houses and I didn't want to do that alone. So anytime that I did it, my husband was with me. More times than not, I might have done it like once or twice by myself, but more times than not my husband would go with me. So that would kind of defeat the purpose of me trying to make money if he's just going to go with me to make money too. And I didn't really enjoy it anyway. And then like literally just like one time I did what's it called, Instacart. I did that like one time, and also I did not like that at all. So doing those types of things was not for me. It's a nice way to get some extra money, like it works, but I did not enjoy it, so I did not do that for very long. And then I learned about this thing called Redbubble. I don't know if that still exists or not. It probably does. But it's basically where you can make designs and you can have somebody else make them for you. So I would make some like sticker designs and whatever, and I would post those on my Redbubble shop. But that literally went nowhere. I made absolutely 0 sales, but that was probably because I didn't put that much effort into it, because I still didn't feel like that was what I wanted to do. I was just trying to try stuff to make some extra money. And then I also did print on demand a little bit, and if I did sell anything, it's my family that bought it, so that didn't really go anywhere either. These are all things that you can try, and if you're into it, you go right ahead. But for me, it was just not for me, and it didn't work. I forgot the question. Oh yeah, the name. So anyway, so I tried all of those things, and then I was like, let me just start an Etsy. I'm gonna try to sell like templates. At the time, I was only doing baby products, so the name came from my miscarriage. To long-windingly answer this question, the name came from the fact that we had a miscarriage. So like during a storm, so a rainstorm, there's always light at the end and joy at the end. After the storm, there's a rainbow, but for whatever reason I didn't use the name rainbow. I used rainstorm, and then I put joy because there's joy after the storm. So rainstorm joy, that's where the name came from. To answer that question finally, how did you start? I guess I kind of answered that question. And do you have a lot of competition in your area? I explained how Rainstorm Joy came to be a little bit, but how did I start? You know, the story that I just told, I didn't want to work a 9 to 5. And so I went onto Etsy. At first it was going to be like towards baby stuff, but it was just templates. I was selling baby shower templates and like flashcards for children to use, for babies to use. That's what I was doing at first, so I guess that's how I started. But then out of nowhere, Etsy does this sometimes. It hasn't, I mean, hopefully they don't do it anymore, but they did do this sometimes where they just randomly suspend your shop. So my shop randomly got suspended, and after that I was like, okay, I guess I'm done with that. And then I went on and then moved on to trying to do other different things. So I came up with all kinds of other different businesses, and at this time I expanded from just doing like digital stuff to actually making stuff. I started to make like tutus, pacifier clips, and just a lot of baby stuff like that, like hair accessories and stuff like that. And at the time I didn't know anything about what I was doing really. So what I was doing was trying to sell children's stuff. I had one person buy one of my physical products, but I told them after I realized what I was doing, like, just get rid of it. They probably kept it, but I'm like, just get rid of it, so there's not going to be any problems. But if you sell children's products, you have to get it tested, or it has to be compliant. My stuff was compliant because after I figured that out, I made sure I followed all the rules that you need to follow. So my stuff was compliant, but I never sent it off to get tested if it needed to be tested, because it's a little confusing with all the rules and stuff that goes behind making stuff for children. So I was just like, I'm done. I'm not selling stuff to children anymore. I'm done. Obviously I want to do it the correct and legal way, and I want it to be safe for children, but I don't want to have to jump through these hoops that I don't even understand. So that's not something that I want to do right now. And also, I don't think I even really enjoyed making what I was making at the time. I was just trying to figure out what to make because I knew I wanted to make something. Oh my god. That reminds me, I don't remember if this was before or after Rainstorm Joy, but I had a business called AOP Handmade because my husband thought AOP Handmade would be such a cool name for my business, because those are my initials, and he thought it would be so cool for my business to be called that, and I absolutely did not like it, but I listened to him, so it was called that for a little bit. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. Oh my goodness, that's where I started to sell tutus. And I was making clay earrings, guys. Oh my gracious. This is taking me back. Oh my god. I needed to have documented this. This is such a journey. I almost forgot about that. I was making clay earrings. I was making tutus. I was trying to make shirts with vinyl. I was making elves. Oh my goodness. Those elves that you put your name on. I tried to offer those. The only people that bought from me at that time were my family members. Oh my gosh, I forgot. I was making scrunchies. Let me show you guys. Let me show you. I still have some of those first products. This is where my office originally was. Even that has changed so much over the years. So this room is no longer where my office is. But some of the stuff is still here from where it was my office. So let me show you some of the beginning products that I made because they're still on the wall just hanging there. Oh my gosh. I have gone through so many different things while doing business. So I made these fabric earrings, I made these wire earrings, and here are all the clay earrings that I made still on the wall. Obviously I did not sell any and I was not good at clay in the beginning, but oh my gosh, that's back when I did Halloween. I do not celebrate Halloween anymore. But oh my god, look at that! Look at it! That is just so crazy. And I still have some elves that I made too, but they're with my Christmas decorations. Oh my gracious, that took me back. What was the question? How did you start? Yeah, I could just go on and on about how I started because I started so many different things, so many different times. Oh my gosh, okay, let me tell you all the business names that I came up with. I posted about this a little bit on my TikTok where originally when I started business, I was just really trying to figure out what I like and I was just doing things that I saw other people doing, and then I surrendered my business to God and everything's starting to work out more. If you want to see that post, make sure you go look at my TikTok. It is pinned on my TikTok page. But let me tell you about all the names that I used to have back in the day. The Rainstorm Joy, which is what you're watching now, but it's completely changed from what it originally was. You can actually scroll down to the beginning of my TikToks where I thought I was selling baby stuff. Those videos still exist. And those videos are still some of my most popular videos. It's pretty crazy. AOP Handmade. I did Lazy Bumette. That was supposed to be like a print-on-demand business. I did Comfy Mosaics, Fervor Co's, oh, etc, etc. That was for my spot that I had at the consignment store because back then I was still trying to figure out what I wanted to do. So I was making some items, but I was also offering secondhand items at the same time. So I didn't want to call it Rainstorm Joy, so I just called it etc, etc. I think that's all of the business names that I've gone through. Oh yeah, you know, Water Wine Creations. And that's a little bit about how I started. Basically, I just knew I wanted to have my own business. I knew that I wanted to make stuff, but I wasn't 100% sure of what I wanted to make, so I started to make all kinds of different things, and then I finally just ended up where I am now. So basically, how you get started is just by starting. I know it's another not very helpful answer, but that's how you start. You just do it. You just start. You just have to start. You're not going to learn anything without starting. So just start. And then the second part of that question, do you have a lot of competition in your area? Honestly, guys, I didn't even recognize it until I became a business owner. There are a lot of small business owners in my area. Like, actually a lot. I do live in a pretty decent sized town. I don't really pay attention to that though, but I guess I really do. And there are a lot of people here that have their own business. Honestly, I wouldn't call it competition. It's just a place. This is just a place for business owners, really. Like the vendor spot that I have in the mall, I've seen like one other person selling something similar to what I sell, which would be like my keychain wallets and stuff like that. I've seen one other person doing that in the vendor spot where I'm at in the mall. But other than that, I think I do kind of stand out with what I have to offer, especially because I'm a handmade Christian business. There are a lot of handmade businesses around me, and some of those people may be Christians, some of them may not be Christians, but I don't really see that many people making what I sell. So at least at the markets that I go to, I'm like one of the only people that offer the things that I sell, and that does attract people towards me. But at the same time, people still don't want to buy my stuff sometimes. I have a lot of customers that actually come into my, or people, I have a lot of people that come into my area at markets and they're like, your stuff is so cute, I just had to come over here and look at your stuff, but that's it. They don't buy it, and I'm just like, well, if you like it so much, buy it. But anyways, like I was saying, I don't really see that many people offering what I offer. Mainly in my area, at least at the markets that I go to, I mainly see like apparel or boutiques, mainly food. There's a lot of food vendors, 3D printing stuff, sometimes laser cutting stuff. Unfortunately, I see tarot readings. Some people paint. There are people that sell like similar things to my wreaths, but like that's not a big majority of my business, so I'm not competing with them. But there are people that sell like wood signs and stuff. I have seen that at my markets, but that's really it. Not very many people are doing what I'm doing that I see. Again, at least at the markets that I go to. I'm not worried about competition, or at least I try not to worry about competition, because if God called you to it, it's going to work out no matter who else is doing it. You can put your spin on it, but only you can put on it, you know? So I'm not really worried about it. If God called you to this, it's going to work out. And that's how your mindset should be too. If you're called to do what you're called to do, then nothing can come against it. How do you find your markets? I mainly find my markets on Facebook. So all you have to do is, if you have a Facebook, you can just look in your area and you can search up wherever you live, market, vendor, events, and it should pop up. I'm in a few groups where I live, like in the state that I live. I'm in a few Facebook groups where everybody from all over the state posts about vendor events going on, and some events that are even happening outside of the state, people post about it if it's a nearby state. If you've already done some events before, I've never done it, but I've heard that you can ask your fellow vendors people, and they will probably let you know about future events coming up. You could probably also look at your Facebook, what's happening and where you live, groups, and also like events. There's like an events tab, I think, on Facebook, and you can look at the events that are going to happen. You just want to look like into the future at events, so you'll have enough time to actually apply for those events. You can also look up your local farmers markets. They typically allow vendors, and that's a good place to start. How did you grow your business? Honestly, just by the grace of God. That's how it's happening. I mean, I'm not doing anything special. It's just happening. And it took a while for it to start happening, I'll tell you that much. Like I said, I started in 2021, and it's now 2025, and now I'm really starting to see the fruit of my labor. Okay, so you have to just stick in there, just continue to show up, continue to do what you're needing to do, and it'll just happen organically, and it'll happen in God's timing. All I did was continue to show up. So I was posting on social media since 2021. I did take some breaks here and there when I didn't know what I was doing, but I started showing up. I started posting more consistently. I started going to my events. I have business cards, and people just find me now, and if it's in the will of God, it's gonna work out. I had some videos go viral, and it's totally insane, and I've gained some followers from that, and I'm still working on the grow my business aspect of actually making sales, but I'm doing pretty well in the mall. I just don't get to see that as much as I would if it were my Etsy or my markets, because we only get paid once a month, so it's hard to know that I'm actually making money, but I am. So that's really, really nice. It's just growing organically and spiritually, honestly. Sometimes you're going to make something and you're going to realize that nobody likes it. I've done that plenty of times. For some reason, my makeup bags do not sell at my vendor spot in the mall at all. They don't sell, but they do at my markets. They also don't sell on my Etsy. So it's really just trial and error, because it just happens when it's going to happen. People are going to like what they're going to like. And so you just have to make something. Hopefully people will like it. If they don't, okay, it's okay. Move on, try something else. Not specifically try something else like you're chasing it to work out, but try something else like, okay, that wasn't well received, but what else do I offer that people may like? So you'll figure it out, and it will work out for you. You just have to keep doing it. I have the Bible app. If you don't have it, you should get it. But the verse of the day on the Bible app today was Galatians 6:9. Look it up, because I'm going to paraphrase it. It's basically saying, don't grow weary in doing good, because in due season you will reap a harvest. Don't grow weary. You have to just continue to do what you're doing, continue to show up, continue to have faith, and continue to put your trust in God and do the work that you need to do on your end for God to bless you. And that's all you got to do, and it's going to work out. And if it doesn't, then it's not for you, and that's okay. By God's grace, you'll move on and get to the next thing that is for you. That's how life works. Just have to keep it going, and it will work out. Were you scared to start a YouTube channel? No, I wasn't. Next question. I'm just kidding. I'll elaborate. I was not scared to start a YouTube channel because doing YouTube has been something on my mind and heart for such a long time, and it is so funny. God is such a funny man. Let me tell you. Oh guys, hold on. I showed again my TikTok, but I didn't show you. This is what we're making. This is what we were doing over there. This is one of my pen holders. It goes on your Bible. Let me show you. I didn't even show you all what we were doing. I just said we're doing it. I didn't say what it is though. So obviously you just put this on your Bible and it fits many different sizes, and then you put your pens in there. That's what we're making over there. This is just one of them. This is the first one, well the second one. But this is the first type that I made. It has my label on the back. So no, I was not scared to start a YouTube channel because doing YouTube has been on my mind and heart for such a long time, except it, like, that's what I was saying. God is so funny because at the beginning of me wanting to do this YouTube journey, I wanted to do it for my personal life, and maybe that's still in the cards down the road or something, but I wanted to do it like lifestyle. I wanted to do it for like my personal life, and girl, guy, whoever's watching, I sure did for a while. I was doing YouTube for my personal life a few different times on different channels. You already know, we've done it all. So because I knew that I wanted to do YouTube for such a long time and from such a young age, I was not scared to get on here to do it for my business because I've already been trying it for years. It just so happens that it's working out for my business, and that's why God is funny, because here I was wanting it to be successful for my personal life so I could be a lifestyle YouTuber and just live my life and record my life, and it would be so easy for me to do that. But then God's like, it's gonna work out for you, but for your business. So that's what we're doing right now, my business YouTube. So how do you surrender your business to God? That's a part of surrendering, is understanding that you're not in control. God is in control. So you can obviously take a leap of faith, walk in faith, take a step in faith towards something. God's going to redirect you if you need to be redirected, and God's going to bless it if it's going to be blessed. That's as easy as it is, and that's as hard as it is at the same time. God is in control, and that's a part of surrendering, is realizing that you're not in control. God is the one that produces wealth in our lives. So no matter what I could do, no matter how hard I could work, nothing's gonna work unless God blesses it. And we have to understand that. How do you get an LLC? Well, you can get an LLC by going to your Secretary of State website, and you should be able to get it on there. You could also pay for other people to do it, but I highly recommend you don't doing that because it's so easy to do it yourself. Depending on what state you live in, you do have to pay for an LLC, and it's going to be a certain amount of cost. Mine was only like $40. For all these legal questions, I'm not a legal person. Go ask a legal person. But you can just look it up on your Secretary of State, I'm pretty sure. What's the first thing you've made? Okay, the first thing that I ever made that really got me into, I've always been crafty and artistic my entire life. It honestly should make sense that I have a small business. But one of the first things that I ever made, not necessarily pertaining to my business, is I used to make pillows and stuffed animals back in the day. I would hand sew those. Not until recent years that I learned how to use a sewing machine. So I would hand stitch pillows and stuffed animals. And then the first thing that really got me into sewing was a scrunchie. That was the first thing that I ever made with my own sewing machine, and that got me into business, was making a scrunchie. At the time it was like a really bad scrunchie because it was so thick, and the elastic that I used was way too thick, and you couldn't even stretch it really. But how I got onto that was by watching XXL Scrunchie, and that's where I got that idea from, and that's like one of the first things that I ever made for my business was a scrunchie. Did you know you wanted to start a small business? Well, like I said, I was tired of being in those 9-to-5 jobs, so I knew I wanted to do something. But back in the day, I will say, I did not see myself being a business owner. That was not my goal for my life. If you could not tell, I love to perform, and back in the day I wanted to be a performer. I love to perform. I wanted to be an actress or a singer for the longest time, up until outside of college. So I got out of college in 2021, and then I did my last ever acting gig in 2022, and then since then I've been doing my business. So I thought I was gonna be, well, I really thought I wanted to be a performer, but I mean, if the chance opens up to me, I will still do it. But right now I'm content with doing my small business. Small business was not on my mind back in the day, but it is now, like all the time. How do you separate business and personal life, especially if you work at home? You just have to figure out how to do it, honestly. It will work out eventually, probably not in the beginning, but you'll be able to separate it eventually. I recently got better at being able to separate my personal and my business life because I do work at home, and my business stuff is literally just a door away. So it is difficult because I'm here with my daughter. I'm a stay-at-home small business owner, work at home mama type thing going on. So it's hard for me to be in this room sometimes working when I know that my daughter is with me and she wants to play, and she's like not playing with me. She's having a lot of individual alone time, and sometimes more than I would like to admit, and that did make me feel bad for a while, because like I want to work towards achieving these goals for my business, and I need to work on my business, especially if someone bought something. I need to actually work on it. But I've gotten a lot better at separating it, where it's like I used to work all day. Like when my husband's home, I work all day because he's home. He can take care of my daughter. So this is my opportunity to do stuff for my business. So I would work all day. But I realized that that's a problem. I would still be able to spend time with my family if I were to work a 9 to 5. So working all day is just like, sometimes it's okay to do that, but like I was doing it any chance that I got, so I would be able to actually do what I wanted to do and work without having to work and to watch my daughter. So I would work and watch my daughter when it was just me watching her, and then I would work all day when my husband would be watching her. So then I wouldn't really have any time for my family. I recognize that that's awful and bad, and then I decided that don't just recognize that it's not a good thing, change it. Now I have gotten a little bit better. I still work because I need to work, but I do take breaks in between my work day where I do go hang out with my daughter and do stuff with my daughter, not just take breaks where we eat together and then that's it. I do go see what she's doing while I'm working throughout the day, and I spend some time with her while I'm working throughout the day. And then I no longer try to work literally the entire day and into the night. You need rest. God literally gifted us with rest. Take the rest that he's given you. So make sure you're also resting, because there's nothing about grinding and hustling and working all the time, because once again, God's the one that produces wealth in our life. So it's not going to matter how hard you work. God's the one that's going to bless you with it, or not going to bless you with it. But yeah, so I was able to separate that now a little bit better. You just have to make sure that you do separate the two. It's up to us to prioritize the things that we prioritize in our lives, and family it should not be any other way than God first, and then family and people next, not work. So that's all the questions. I feel like this video is probably long. Hopefully it's not too long. I hope you all enjoyed watching this video anyway. If I talk too much, or if I talk too fast, or if I didn't answer the questions well enough, I apologize. Thanks for watching, you all. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you all next time. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe and all that stuff, and bye. And what was that? See y'all later. Peace out, Girl Scouts. Oh, yes,